Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Jaime Munguia versus Jermell Charlo. That is the matchup that everybody wants to see at this point. I have been bombarded with requests to break down a potential matchup between Jaime Munguia and Jermell Charlo. I think at first, before this fight that Jermell Charlo recently had, and before his first loss, I thought, hey, the Tony Harrison fight should just be a tune-up for Jermell, and Jaime Munguia give him a few more tune-ups before he steps in and steps up in competition. But seeing the flaws that I've seen so many times against Jermell Charlo, but seeing how a guy started to outwork him and outmaneuver him in that sense, I think that Jaime Munguia is ready at this stage to take on a Jermell Charlo and beat him. And this is why I say that. I believe that, since Jaime Munguia is so much bigger than Jermell Charlo body-wise, I believe his power and strength would play the ultimate factor in this fight. Since Jaime Munguia is the taller fighter with the longer reach, Jaime Munguia would be able to slip a lot of shots, and he would also be able to have a lot of shots roll off. Jaime Munguia also would be able to absorb more shots because he has a bigger, stronger body frame than a Jermell Charlo. So I think that he could take more of Jermell Charlo's best shots than Jermell Charlo could take his. I don't believe Jermell Charlo could take his shots. We haven't seen Jermell Charlo tested at this point at that level against a fighter that can actually punch. Jermell Charlo has been in with a lot of guys who weren't known as huge punchers. Jermell Charlo went in with an Erickson Lubin who was a prospect basically and stopped him early. So yeah, you can't really give him too much credit for beating a prospect. No one had ever expected anything from Erickson Lubin, and a lot of people felt like he was moving up too fast. With Jaime Munguia, he has proven power. He has beaten guys who have held world championships, such as a Saddam Ali, such as a Liam Beefy Smith. So since Jaime Munguia is proven in that regard, I think that he would be able to physically out-muscle a Jermell Charlo and stop him for a victory. I think that would be a great fight for him to build upon, because you have to realize that Jaime Munguia is only 22 years old and he's growing with every single fight. Then when you look at Jermell Charlo, this guy's 28 years old, and if you already look at Jaime Munguia's resume, it's already more than what Jermell Charlo has done. He's a world champion. He's beaten Saddam Ali, Liam Smith, Brandon Cook, and then on the reverse end you see a Jermell Charlo's resume. He's beaten nothing but prospects and Austin Trout, and Austin Trout was basically washed when he fought him. So let's be honest and unbiased that Jaime Munguia right now at this stage in his career would have to have the edge. He also has 31 fights such as a Jermell Charlo, except for Jermell Charlo has recently lost. Jermell Charlo has way less knockouts at 15. Jaime Munguia has 26. He's shown a much better level of power, and he's hurt pretty much every opponent he's been in there with. Even though he went 12 rounds with Liam Smith, he could have easily stopped him. There was points in that fight where he was really hurting Liam Smith, and Liam Smith held on to survive at some point in that fight. So I had to give Liam Smith some credit. And Jaime Munguia, you can't expect the world from him because he's only 22 years old. He's a rising prospect, and I didn't initially think that he was ready for a step-up fight, but seeing the flaws in a Jermell Charlo, this would be the time for him to fight him, because I believe he would beat him. I think as long as Jaime Munguia keeps progressing, I think the sky's the limit for him. And I also think a few more fights after that, I think he'd be ready for a Jarrett Swift Hurd as well, because of the pure size and strength of Jaime Munguia. I believe that that's a fight that he would be able to handle, because if you look at a Jarrett Swift Hurd, he's tailor-made for Jaime Munguia just as much as Jermell Charlo is, because these guys take a lot of big shots on the chin. These guys are not defensive tacticians, and these guys like to stand in the ring and kind of go blow for blow with you. A lot of people tried to overrate and overhype Jermell Charlo, put all this hype on him, and the guy's not that. He is just not that. Even his training team, Derek James in his corner, was unable to instruct him on how to cut the ring off against Tony Harrison. These guys don't know the ins and outs of boxing. These guys only know Attack, attack, attack. These guys are not fundamentally sound when it comes to the basics of boxing, such as cutting off the ring, such as being able to do more than just walk down your opponent and switch styles. You need to be able to switch styles. You need to be able to make adjustments. And these are not things we've seen from a 28-year-old Jermell Charlo. But if you look at a Jaime Munguia, who's only 22 years old, he's literally improved since he won the world title against Adam Ali. He got a lot of rounds, 12 rounds in with the Liam Smith, in which he hurt him multiple times. He took some good shots, and that was a tremendous learning experience, and he put that on full display by fighting a Brandon Cook just a few months later and stopping him in the third round. I think that's a tremendous feat for Jaime Munguia. I think Jaime Munguia is improving. I think another fight, basically the next fight that he has, is against Takashi Inoue. I think after that fight, I think he'd be ready for a Jermell Charlo. I think he could hurt and possibly stop a Jermell Charlo based on his sheer size and power alone. Once again, Unbiased, as always, is the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.